Today's project is a one-piece non-dripping sauce pot. One of the challenges when I make pots for liquid is dripping. I've tried various styles to achieve good results. So far, all of them involve the spout. But this one is different. I use liquid surface tension to resolve the dripping issue. I use 400 grams of stoneware buff clay on a small throwing bat, which is attached to the wheel with a thin layer of clay. First, I make a cone shape to equalize the clay's density and center it simultaneously. My right palm edge presses the top of the cone at the 5 o'clock position, pushing diagonally downwards. Using both palm edges, I press the bottom of the cone, then bring the clay to the top. I repeat this action until the cone becomes smooth and elastic. Then I shape the cone into a disc. To make a flat top disc shape, I press the top down while my left hand keeps the side wall straight. The disc is about 7 cm in diameter. The clay is ready for the next stage. Open the center hole. I leave a 7 mm bottom thickness, then slide my thumb outwards along the bottom. I dig my thumb into the wall about 5 mm, then slide my thumb up with the clay. I repeat this to make a cylinder. Now my thumb can't reach the bottom, so I switch to my middle finger. My left hand keeps the cylinder shape. Compressing the edge from 3 directions to make it firm. Before stretching the wall, I compress the bottom with a wooden rib to make a flat bottom and to prevent an S-crack. My right hand's ring finger presses the bottom of the clay at the 9 o'clock position, while my left middle finger, slightly higher than the right ring finger, follows its movement. All other fingers, including the left ones, take positions based on my right ring finger. Above the right ring finger, the middle and index fingers are aligned to keep the wall's direction straight up. Both thumbs are interlocked to guide all fingers. I use this wooden tool to shape the internal corner and make a flat, even surface inside. I press the bar corner at the inside of the cylinder's bottom corner. My left hand is upside down and placed at the 6 o'clock position. My left index finger presses against the bar. I slowly slide both sides up together. After stretching the wall again, I check the height. It is about 15 cm. Just straightening the wall adds an extra centimeter. Making a straight wall before the next step. I'm not stretching the wall anymore at this point. Mark half of the cylinder, which is the starting point for squeezing. Slowly move both hands up. When my hands reach the top, my right fingers pinches the edge from both sides to smooth the backward clay while my left hand maintains the shape. Repeat the same action. At this point, I try not to stretch the wall anymore. The squeezed part of the wall becomes thicker, and if I were making a vase, I would stretch the wall. But in this project, this part will be the top of the pot and the bottom of the lid, which needs a fair amount of thickness for a good fit. It's better to have a big margin for that. Now the main body is shaped, so I close the top. With the pot closed, I can manipulate the shape. I feel resistance, so I make a small air vent hole. I set my left index finger at the middle part of the neck, then press the top with my right index finger. Now the top can be pushed easily. Before the pot loses shape, I close the air vent hole. I use a 1.5 cm wide chopstick for a long neck lid. Gently push the chopstick in. My left hand maintains the lid's position. I made an air vent hole. I cut the bottom corner, ensuring the cutting string follows well to create a nice round circle at the base. A perfectly shaped circle is vital for tap centering. I'm going to make an extra air vent hole at this point to release the trapped air during the drying process. One hole often closed up during the drying process, so this is insurance. When the pot becomes leather hard, it's time for trimming. I wet the bottom of the pot for better attachment to the wheel. Press the corner clay to secure the pot on the wheel. Clean the lid's neck as much as possible before separating it from the body. Trimming this part on its own is very tricky, so it's better to do it at this stage. I want to see enough thickness at the pot's neck. The back of the lid needs to be very clean as I'm going to cut the channel later. I use a needle to separate the lid from the pot. The needle is set horizontally, so the lid will not need trimming. The lid wall thickness is quite thick, which is ideal for this pot. Now I need to trim the pot neck from the inside. I want to make a tight fit, but it seems slightly loose, so I press the edge gently inwards. Now it's a perfect fit. Polish the surface before finishing. Trim to make a clean circle bottom before I separate the pot from the wheel. I use a chuck to trim the foot ring. I wet the bottom of the chuck for good contact with the wheel. This round spirit level is to set the pot horizontal. I adjust the pot until the bubble stays in the center. When I do top centering, the clean circle bottom is very helpful to judge the timing to hit the chuck. Trim the corner at an angle to prevent chipping. I use a trimming spinner to hold the pot. This tool consists of two discs with a bearing in between. The upper disc stays under my finger, while the lower disc spins with the pot. Trim 5 mm from the edge to make a foot ring. Then trim multiple circles. And take the peaks off. I can avoid making a wavy surface this way. My trimming tool often catches grog in the clay and jumps, which makes waves on the surface that are difficult to get rid of. Polish the surface. This action compresses the clay, which helps prevent an S-crack. It's also effective to avoid corner chipping. The pot is ready. The lid fits well and still spins easily. Now I alter the lid to make a non-dripping sauce pot. I marked two lines opposite each other. Make a straight channel through which liquid can flow, and the other side is an air vent. The channel size relates to the amount of liquid coming through, so I need to be careful not to make it too small. This non-dripping system relies on liquid surface tension. When the liquid returns to the pot, the airtight channel pulls the liquid on the edge back into the pot. This is why it does not drip. After the bisque firing, the pot is ready for glazing. I wax the joint parts as the pot will be fired with the lid on. I'm going to use an oil pastel as a wax resist. This is my standard method, as the oil pastel can create a rustic form. It is effective when I want to create an organic pattern on the pot. To glaze the lid, I hold the waxed part and dip it in one go. For the pot, I glaze the outside first. As this pot wall is thin, if I glaze the inside first, the outside glaze could be too thin, since the biscuit's water suction is already filled by the internal glaze. While waiting for the glaze to settle, I clean the drawing made by the oil pastel. Now I can glaze the inside. Finally, I clean all the waxed parts, and then the pot is ready to be fired. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed watching this pottery process. The one-piece style non-dripping sauce pot is really fun to make. There are multiple tasks I need to complete, and the outcome is a stress-free utensil. I love this pot. Your comments serve as motivation for my next video. Happy creating, and I look forward to seeing you in the next pottery video.